Hi, second grade owls at home. It's your music teacher, Miss Webb. It is our last music lesson of the year. Are you sad? Don't be sad. We'll be back together in January and then we'll flip the calendar and it'll be the year 2021. It's hard to believe. I wonder how many of you have ever heard of the Nutcracker. Ever heard of that? It's a story and then it became a piece of music and a ballet. Yeah, where people dance. So if you already know the story, maybe you'll get something new out of this. And if you don't know, you're in for a treat. The Nutcracker is usually associated with Christmas time. And this particular book had a contributing writer named Carolyn Quattrocki, and the illustrators were Linda Graves and Susan Spellman. So all ladies who worked together to get this book together. And I bet you have seen nutcrackers different places. Here's a picture of one. It's a soldier. They actually do really crack a nut if you put one in their mouth, and then there's a little lever on their back that you push down and it'll go like that. But a lot of them are just for decoration. All right, let's get started. It was Christmas Eve in Germany a long time ago. Every Christmas Eve, after dinner, Marie and her brother Fritz opened their presents. They too celebrated by giving gifts on this special day. This evening, the Christmas tree in the parlor seemed even bigger and more beautiful than ever. And Marie and Fritz had wonderful presents. They had dolls, little toy soldiers, and picture books. But Marie's favorite gift was from her godfather, Dr. Drosselmeyer. It was a wooden nutcracker. It was carved to look like an old soldier. It did not look like any other nutcracker Marie had ever seen. What Marie did not know, though, was that the nutcracker was enchanted. After Marie and Fritz finished opening their presents, another celebration began. They were going to have an exciting Christmas party for their young cousins and friends. Everyone played with the dolls and toy soldiers, and there were all kinds of Christmas candies and cookies to eat. Then Dr. Drosselmeyer said, "Wait right here, children. I have a special treat for you." Before they could guess what the treat might be, he appeared with two puppets and a small stage for a puppet show. The two puppets danced and leaped high off the stage, and they did somersaults, like little flips, while the children watched and laughed and clapped. Marie held her favorite gift, the nutcracker, through the whole puppet show. And friends, sometimes you'll hear Marie called Clara. I think it's the same character. After the show was over, Fritz began to dance around just like the puppets had done. He grabbed the nutcracker from Marie and leaped up, holding it high, but Fritz could not dance quite as well as the puppets. He stumbled, and the nutcracker went flying across the room, landing near the Christmas tree. When Marie ran to pick up her favorite gift, she saw that his wooden jaw was broken. "Oh no," she cried. "Let me fix you, you poor nutcracker." She carefully tied the nutcracker back together with her handkerchief and put him under the Christmas tree. Then Mother called out, "It's time for bed." All the guests had left, and it was time to put out the lights and go upstairs for the night. The house was quiet, but Marie could not sleep. She was thinking about the nutcracker under the Christmas tree. Marie tiptoed downstairs. When she opened the door to the big parlor, she was surprised to see that the Christmas tree was lighted again. She picked up her nutcracker, but he looked larger than when she had left him under the tree, and his jaw was not broken anymore. The nutcracker also seemed to be getting taller. His carved wooden face slowly changed. Before Marie's very eyes, the nutcracker became a handsome young prince. The prince bowed to Marie and thanked her. Her act of kindness had broken a magic spell that had been cast over him. Just then, Marie heard a scuffling and scratching sound with a pattering and squeaking noise. She looked up to see a room full of gray, huge mice. "What are mice doing here?" wondered Marie. The mice were led by a mouse king who had 7 heads and carried a sword. Just as the prince leaped in front of Marie to protect her, they heard the sounds of a trumpet and a drum. Out of Fritz's gift box, left under the Christmas tree, sprang a whole troop of toy soldiers that grew to life size as soon as they stepped out of their box. The soldiers, led by the prince, began a great battle with the Mouse King and his army of gray mice. What a battle it was! Back and forth the two armies went. Marie began to be afraid that the mice would win. But the prince and the toy soldiers seemed to be getting tired. Just then, Marie saw her chance to help. She took off her slipper and she threw it with all her might at the Mouse King. Down he went. The battle was over. As quickly as they had come, the army of gray mice ran away. The prince was now completely free from the magic spell. He could go home to his own land. Would you come with me? He asked Marie. Oh, yes, she said. Boys and girls, would you go with the Nutcracker to his land? I don't know. Sounds interesting. So the prince led Marie to the Christmas tree, which seemed to have grown taller. He raised his arms, and suddenly the prince and Marie were no longer in Marie's parlor. Instead, they found themselves in the Nutcracker Prince's kingdom. All around them were beautiful dancing snow fairies. Welcome to the land of sweets, said the prince. Marie saw sights she had never dreamed of. Here, the houses were made of chocolate and peppermint sticks. There was a river of lemonade and a lake of sugar and almond milk. Marie and the prince traveled down the lemonade river, passing by lollipop trees and candy flowers. They rode in a little boat shaped like a seashell. Finally, they arrived at the sparkling sugar castle. This was the palace of the Sugar Plum Fairy, who came out to meet them. The prince said, Marie, with her enchanted kindness, has rescued me from her spell. In the battle with the Mouse King, at just the right moment, she threw her slipper at him and she saved me. When the Sugar Plum Fairy heard this, she invited Marie and the prince to sit on her royal throne. She had a great party to celebrate. Everybody in the land of sweets came. As tinkling music filled the hall, the Sugar Plum Fairy did a graceful fairy dance. Next came a parade of dancers, acrobatic Chinese dancers, whirling Arabian dancers, leaping and twirling Russian dancers. And boys and girls, later I'm going to share with you a video by Mr. Delgadio. He's another music teacher, and it's going to be the music of the Sugar Plum Fairy. It's very twinkly, very mysterious, and I bet a lot of you have heard it before. Marie had never seen such sights. There were chocolate dancers and candy dancers and even dancing clowns. Just when Marie could not imagine anything more grand, she was surrounded by enchanted flowers. Everywhere she looked were beautiful flowers, buttercups, daffodils, roses, and tulips. They seemed to almost float as they waltzed round and round the great ballroom. Everyone joined in the dancing. Marie was a little afraid to dance. Then the Nutcracker Prince came to her, and he said, all this dancing is for you. You must dance too. Come with me. So Marie and the prince whirled and whirled and whirled, until Marie was a little dizzy and she could no longer tell exactly where she was. She rubbed her eyes and sat up. She was beneath her own Christmas tree in her own house, and beside her was her Nutcracker. Where was the prince, the dancers, the Sugar Plum Fairy? Oh, could it all have been a dream? Maybe it was. Have you guys ever had a dream that was so real that when you woke up, you weren't sure? I definitely have too. All right, so Tchaikovsky, it's a long word, he was a Russian composer. That means he wrote music. That was his job. And he wrote a lot of symphonies and a lot of wonderful music. And one thing he wrote was the Nutcracker Suite. Part of it is the Russian dance. So I'm going to play that for you. It goes like this. Have you heard that before? Yes, it's very famous. So I'd like you to grab a scarf or a bandana or even a pillowcase, and we're going to do a little movement to the Russian dance. I've got my green scarf here. That was fun. All right, I'm going to link to you Mr. Delgadio's music, and that's the Sugar Plum Fairy. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you in January. Bye.